Welcome to the Fanatical Elfz Show, part of the Elfz Network. We are a bunch of wild and crazy Cleveland Browns fans, bringing you all the latest in Browns news. Tune in now. Hey! Hello! Good evening!
Wow.
This is the Fanatical Elfz Show
Hey.
on the Fanatical Elfz Network, part of
Hey.
Fans First Sports Network. I'm John
Hey.
Suchan, and right there is...
Oh, you had it right the first time.
Damn it, is Steve Gill.
Good
how are
evening.
you? Good evening, Steve Gill.
Oh, I'm wonderful. It's 73 degrees here right now. Tomorrow we'll probably match a record of 83.
Whoa.
A little early for this crap. Don't plan anything yet, especially if you live in the South. Always wait till after tax day to do your planting, unless it's lettuce and asparagus. Those should be in the ground already. But yeah. But now's a good time to prune before your shrubs and trees start leafing. You got to get the pruning in right now. And then
pruning is always good.
Very good. I can't help it. My wife's a certified horticulturalist, and we both went through the Master Gardener program. So
that's interesting. Cool.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
got to know what you're doing. I mean, they teach you all about. Well, here in Tennessee, the soil is kind
what's
of
it
unique.
like? Yeah,
got a lot of limestone in it. So
it's not easy to plant in. Yeah.
Well, what you can do is our local agricultural department as part of the University of Tennessee. It's not that far away. And you can get a soil testing kit and you put some soil in there, take it, and they'll test it and tell you what you need to do to improve your planting season. And it's free.
We always like things that are free.
Free is good.
Free is good. Steve is in the midst of his tax season. He's a wonderful tax guy who does amazing work for a lot of his colleagues, or not colleagues, but
clients.
Few
friends.
So it's 80. It's very warm there.
Yeah.
And it's warming up here too. It's like 60 degrees here in Columbus. It's supposed to be 70, 75.
Our normal high this year is 59. That's our average high. And it was in 80 today, and it'll be 83 tomorrow.
Crazy weather. People are getting excited for a variety of reasons here in Cleveland. Browns fans are always, Cleveland fans are always excited about something. This past week, coming up is free agency, so I want to get into that. We did have a trade. The Browns did have a trade earlier this week.
Yes.
I wanted to talk to you about that. His name is Titus Howard. Steve, tell me about him and tell me about the trade. And
excellent pass blocker. Not so great run blocker, but there are ways to move around that. He plays mostly right tackle, but for the Texans, he told him he'd play anywhere. So he's played some left tackle, some guard, some center even. Nearing 30 years old. Apparently the Texans don't like to pay offensive linemen before when they get near 30. They traded Laramie Tunsil last year.
Yes, they did.
He was about to turn 30. I don't get it. And then they traded a guard to get David Montgomery. So I don't know what they're doing down there in Houston, but you never know.
They're an interesting organization.
It's a start. Still waiting to see if Joel Bitonio will come back or not. That deadline on that decision is the 10th.
Okay.
So,
which is next week as well. Is that?
Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah. He comes in. He's got experience. Titus Howard. He started the majority of the last 2 seasons.
Correct? He played in every game the last 2 seasons. He's played in 32 straight games. I'll take it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We've had so many interesting things happen with our offensive line. over the last
Oh yeah.
couple seasons that, you know, we need some reliability. We need some consistency. Yeah.
I've heard Tavon Jenkins is open to coming back.
Okay.
They are going to experiment with KT Levinston, move him inside. He's a fantastic run blocker, terrible pass blocker, as we've noticed. And they think the new offensive line coach thinks they can get him to stop playing so high.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we can teach him that, I think he'd be a great guard. I really do. DeJuan Jones, like I said last week, the new offensive line coach told him he has to lose 30 pounds. Has to lose 30 pounds. So, which I agree with wholeheartedly. I mean, he can't function at that weight.
No, you just can't. Right.
They will experiment with Luke Whittler at guard.
Okay.
Which I find interesting, which means they are more than likely going to sign a center. I don't know if it's going to be Linderbaum. Andrew Berry has said that the free agency was going to be strategic. I've heard that they will be a little busier than last year, but there won't be a big splash. That, to me, is a big splash.
Okay.
So, but you know, I'm still high on Ravens players like tight end Charlie Kohler.
Yeah.
Heard a new name, Aloy Gilman, who's a safety. Might be an outside shot, but would be definitely an improvement in their secondary. Maybe a few other guys. Caden Ellis, linebacker, if they don't sign Devin Bush. David Onemata, who's a defensive tackle, if they don't sign Shelby Harris. Outside shot at D. Alford, who's a slot corner. That was a point of contention last year.
Okay.
They cut Cam Mitchell because he couldn't play slot corner, and they drafted him specifically to play slot corner. I mean, Lamar Jackson made an embarrassment out of him in that first Baltimore game. He got 3 touchdowns. So, you know, those are the kind of guys with connections. Also in Green Bay, our special teams coach, a couple of linebackers you might want to keep an eye on, Christian Welch and Nick Neiman. Both are special teams players. They got to improve that. So
the coordinators for the Browns this week have come out and spoken, had their press conferences. I think Mike Rudenberg and then
Stover, the special teams, and I can't think of the
other guy, but they
all offensive coordinator.
Right, I know they all spoke this week.
I liked what I heard.
Yeah. They all seem like they're bringing energy, and the one guy, our new offensive coordinator, he's from the Akron area, my understanding. Yeah, or he went to the University of Akron.
Went to Akron.
Yeah, so there's new blood in the waters. I mean, in the system, new energy.
I've heard they're all excellent teachers, so that's good. So I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with the size of the staff. I mean, the local media made a big hubbub about having 28 coaches, a large coaching staff, and said, well, too many cooks in the kitchen. No, not really.
How does that compare to other teams?
If you had 3 head coaches, that would be too many.
How does that compare to other NFL teams, you wonder?
Maybe 1 or 2 more. I mean, they do have a guy devoted just to the nickel corner position.
Yes, which I did an article on.
Good. They've had trouble with the nickel corner.
Ken Anderson, I think is his name.
Yeah. Their nickel corner position last year sucked.
Or Jeff Anderson. It's not Kenny Anderson was the football, the old quarterback from the Bengals.
Augustana University.
Yeah.
Which no longer exists. I have no problem with the size of the coaching staff.
Okay.
So they give these young guys a little more attention. Gee, what's wrong with that?
The free agency window, like you said, it opens here in the next week. The 9th,
Monday the 9th, the legal tampering period starts, and then the league year starts 4 p.m. on Wednesday the 11th. All teams must be at or under the salary cap by 4 4 o'clock Eastern on Wednesday the 11th.
I wanted to talk a little bit about, well, Miles Garrett's in the news for a variety of reasons. I wasn't going to talk about the speeding tickets as much as I did write an article recently for Dog Pound Daily that just came out today about Miles and some of these trades. And I know we've talked about this a little bit, but these fictitious, bogus trade ideas that are out there. And
Oh
so I
yeah,
wrote,
they can
yeah,
trade him, but they're
yeah.
going to have a $41 million dead cap hit.
Yeah, and that's the thing I tried to talk about in my article, and I shared that on my podcast last night or the night before. That that Miles, when he renegotiated for this contract last year, that he pulled in about 90 million dollars up front, and so the cap hit, like you're talking, the dead cap hit is high. It goes lower as we get that, but the cap hit actually increases every year up to 2030 or whatever. And it would be like $58 million would be the cap hit by 2030. Now that's the cap hit, not the dead cap, which is what the Browns owe, right? That they've already paid that out to him, correct? Like
Yeah,
the
dead
$90
cap
million.
is what's it's already paid.
So by the time 2030 rolls around,
It's
that
like
dead cap
interest
is
on a
down to
credit card.
zero.
Dead
Yeah.
dead cap is like interest on a credit card. Is
Okay.
basically what it is. That's a
So
simple
yeah,
way
it
to
would
put
just
it.
be, it's silly. Like the one article I was commenting on was written by a guy who wrote for Fansided, and he was trying to say these are trades that should happen but won't. So he says up front that they're not going to happen, but then he says they should. And what annoyed me in this guy's article, and you'll understand this, Steve. He was he suggested at the beginning of the article with the Browns that the Browns didn't know what the hell they were doing last draft because they took, get this, he said that they took two running backs and two quarterbacks in the draft. The Browns they had no plan, and thus they're dysfunctional. I'm like, dude, you are
That was
definitely
their
not.
plan.
You're definitely not a Browns fan. You definitely don't pay attention to what the Browns were doing to come out and make a comment like that. So
I
yeah,
told everybody who listened to this knows that I said they were going to take two running backs. I said that right
yep.
from the beginning.
A lot of us, we all
Don't
talked
be
about
surprised if they take two running backs.
that. Exactly. Yeah, and the
Because
two
it was a
quarterback
great
thing.
running back draft.
Well, and the two quarterback thing was fun. I mean, obviously that's a little bit unusual taking two rookie quarterbacks, but his whole point of
Well,
saying that the Browns had no plan, which goes totally against like what you and I talk about all the time with Andrew Berry, and you're
he's
never
got a
gonna.
plan.
Yeah, he does have a plan, and you're never going to hit exactly. And if you honestly look at NFL teams around the league, what the Browns are doing isn't very much different, especially how some of those draft picks work out. So it is what it is. But the whole concept of Miles Garrett and these fictitious ideas for trades, it's just not in the cards right now. So he's coming back. So people need to stop talking about it.
Oh yeah.
And Andrew Berry does have a plan, like you said.
I hope the first thing on his plan is to sit Miles down and say, "Stop speeding."
Well, and I'd like to hit on that just for a second, Steve. I'm glad that you
He
said
needs
that.
to. He needs
Yeah.
to do that. He has to do that. It's time. It's time. We don't know if he's done it in the past. He might have already done it. There might
Mm,
be something in his contract that he just signed that says if you get X amount of speeding tickets, you lose this amount of money.
mm-hmm.
I mean, there are things in NFL contracts where you can't ride a motorcycle, you can't go skydiving, you
Mm-hmm.
can't hike up to the top
Why
of
am I thinking?
Kilimanjaro.
I'm going back to Winslow, Kellen Winslow.
Yeah,
That's all
I
I can
mean,
think of right now.
there was a 49er at one time who broke his arm riding a motorcycle, and he tried to convince everybody he did it somewhere else, some other way,
Yes,
and he got ratted out by somebody. So, and
it
he
is
lost a lot of money.
the incident that we're referring to. And if you thanks again for watching us live here on Facebook, YouTube, and the X. You can listen to us later on Apple and Spotify. And a shout out to Hemisphere Coffee Roasters. They shake the hand of the farmer. Check out their link on our X page. The reference to Miles Garrett and the speeding tickets, it is reportedly his ninth. Now, this one happened on I-71. Those of you familiar with Ohio going north, it was my understanding he was coming back from the Miami of Ohio college basketball game, and he was returning. It was 1:30 in the morning. He's rolling through 71, going by Worcester, which is my hometown area. They clocked him at over 100 miles per hour, but the officer gave him a ticket for 94, so he didn't have to show up in Worcester at a court appearance later this month. Which that would have been fun. I would have run up to Worcester to see that court appearance, but he was cited, got the ticket. And what annoys me, Steve, and I think you've already hit on this, is that so many people out here in La La Land, and on the X and other media sources, social media, are excusing his behavior. And those of you out there that are doing this, and I made a comment, I think, for our network here. Those of you who are doing this and excusing it, saying, "Oh, well, everyone gets speeding tickets and we all speed."
I don't.
It's an issue. I know, like, right, and
And I
it is a
speed.
problem. What?
I don't get tickets, but I speed.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean,
You
it's
got to
just
be
one of those
smart
things.
about it.
And the bigger problem for me is it's the speeding tickets, but it's also the fact, and I know it's the fact that he was in this serious accident
See, that's the thing
in
that
in the county down there in Amish
yeah,
country. He rolled his car with a passenger in it, and he
during the
still,
season.
yes.
So yeah,
And those of you,
I'm sure they discussed it, and
yeah,
they need to really get his attention somehow and just make him stop it. That's bottom line. That's it.
yeah, they do, and
But they're not going to trade him, and they're not going to cut him.
well, and the people out there today, especially out there in the local media, Cleveland here, I listened to some of you guys talk about it earlier today, and those of you who are out there talking like some of us are suggesting like, oh, everybody speeds, but then they're all talking too about, well, nobody was complaining about Myles Garrett when he broke the sack record and got 23 sacks. Everybody, I said, you guys are missing the complete point here. Like, and I'm sorry, I work with kids, I work with students on a daily basis for decades here, and Myles Garrett is considered, a superhero by a lot of people, especially kids that are growing up and following somebody. They see somebody like this, it's going to catch up to the guy, and that's what you're playing with fire. You're
Oh
playing with
yeah,
fire. You've got 9 tickets. You've rolled your car over, and some of you out there in La La Land continue to just say, "Oh, don't bother us about that. That's a personal matter." Why does everybody want to talk about his speeding tickets?
it's a
Because he's a role model. Because it means a lot. And those of you who are ignoring that, it just drives me crazy to hear your takes on it.
it's a personal problem until
Yes,
he hurts somebody else.
yes.
Then it becomes a legal problem. So I'm sure they've talked
What
to
was
him.
the guy, Steve? What was the guy several years ago that was a Cleveland Brown, and he was on some he was vacation spot, and he was in a car and he hit somebody, and he it was
Oh yeah, yeah. It
what
was down
they
in
were
Florida.
killed, and yeah, it wasn't
Yeah,
something
I can't remember his name. He was a starter though.
that's yeah, it was many years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Rashid Rice
Yes.
had an accident, and the police caught him as they were walking down the highway to get away from the rent a car that had the accident in it. So
Man.
yeah, he's not a problem child, and he is, but behind the scenes, a team leader. But this is getting a little out of hand. Okay,
I
Miles,
totally
slow.
agree with it.
Or if you're going someplace, hire a driver.
Um let's pause
Would you
quick
like
for
to sit in the back seat of a nice limo, relaxing as you drive home, as somebody drives you home? Maybe have a water or a soft drink.
Hey, I want to talk a little bit more about free agency and the draft that follows that. We've got a couple things posted here. Let's pause for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. We're back as I'm still burping up my Diet Coke. Thanks. That shout out to Diet Coke. By the way, I just want to let you know I stopped at Burger King. Not that you really care about this, Steve, but if you follow the whole burger wars that are going on, McDonald's released their Big Arch sandwich, and then the Whopper supposedly upgraded their hamburger bun, and they've put on a creamier mayonnaise. Um, I tried the Whopper at my local Burger King today, and it was still as disgusting as always. But it's
I don't do fast food. I used to be a Wendy's manager, so I don't.
oh,
If I eat at fast food, I'll eat at a Wendy's. I can get a great burger down at my local dive bar, which isn't
yes.
that far from here. She makes a great burger. She does a burger of the month. I call her she because we know the owner, and it's an institution here in Nashville.
The Wendy's is always a go-to. That usually, typically, Grant and I go to Wendy's, but we thought, I thought to myself, let's try this new burger. Let's try
Ooh, see, they got you
the
hooked,
new
John. They hooked you.
just
They
once. Now I'm going to try the Big
casted it
Arch.
out there.
Honestly, I'm going to go try the Big Arch, which is basically 2 quarter pounders. Um,
Oh,
that's
man.
pretty much it. But
I'll be going to the bathroom for 24 hours if I ate that. Oh,
so yeah,
getting
yeah.
back to the Myles Garrett trading. I remember this article because then he also said that they could designate him as a post June cut. Well, that's not going to happen because they already got Teller and Njoku, who are probably going to be your post June 1st cuts.
Okay.
Njoku's dead cap is 14.8. Teller's is 11.1. They do it after June 1st. You split those two in half. More
Okay.
cap friendly. So this year's cap hit is already taken care of, and next year one of them is probably going to be Deshaun Watson. So
With that in mind, with the quarterback situation, the Browns have Shador, Dylan Gabriel, and Watson. Do you feel like that's going to change at all going
yeah,
in?
that's going to change.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, and I've heard that Todd Monken is seriously interested in seeing what Deshaun Watson can do. But, never hurts to look. You already got him in the building. But if you're going with odds, a guy who's had 2 Achilles ruptured, 3 ACLs, and major shoulder reconstruction, odds are not good that he is going to look anything like he did in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Todd Monken wants to see. He wants to see if there's any this is what I've been told. He wants to see if he has any of the elite characteristics he had in 2020. And yes, he was elite in 2020. He set the completion record in the NFL that year at 72.6%. So, but the odds are kind of similar to me winning Powerball.
Well, and that we've talked about that the last couple of weeks,
or getting hit by lightning while winning Powerball this Saturday.
He came back to the Browns and just had some moments, good moments, but he also didn't have great moments. And so when he went down with the last injury, the fact that he's had, like you said, all these injuries over the years, I agree with you. I mean, fine.
Well, he would have been fine with after the Achilles tear against Cincinnati a couple of years ago. But then just after the season in February, he tore it again.
Yes.
So I just can't see it. And
so
like
who do the Browns
I don't
blame
Todd Monken for taking a look.
So where do we go then? Like where are we looking at somebody again at free agency?
Well, it ain't going to be Kyler Murray. I ain't going to be Kyler Murray. I can tell you that. They have no interest in Kyler Murray as of this moment, and they have no interest in Marvin Harrison Jr. So let's just get those 2 guys out of our heads.
I've been saying that on Kyler Murray for the last 2 weeks. They have
no interest in him. He's going to go to a team where he can rebuild his reputation. He's got a bad reputation of not studying, of playing video games instead of looking at the playbook. And, he's got a bad rep, and he wants to go someplace where he can win right away and return, and restore his reputation. So I still, and I keep hearing the Raiders want to cut Geno Smith, I would take a look at Geno Smith. I know last year he sucked with the Raiders, but the previous years with Seattle, he looked pretty damn good. Now you're also going to get the Tyler Huntley stuff. He's more of a
Mhm.
bridge quarterback, and I don't see anybody in this draft worth a bridge quarterback. So I don't know. I don't know. I still say that they're going to find somebody outside the organization and bring him in, start him for a couple of years, and just let one of the two rookies develop.
Okay. I still think that Shador's. I just like the kid, so I want him to be the guy. But it. I mean, I also agree with you too. I think that they're going to still look to some sort of veteran person from the outside. How they get that guy, I don't know. But I
I don't know
will
either.
see how it pans out here. As
I
far
didn't
as
see the lineman that they traded for
so that was a
happening,
little bit of a
so
surprise to
that
you,
was a
yeah.
surprise. So
We got a couple people who. It's this guy. He's wearing an interesting outfit with his X page. Thanks, Tommy. He wants us to
draft a
draft
tight end.
tight end. He also says, I don't know what that is for the Browns, but what receiver do you guys want? I'm assuming through the draft. I wrote about one guy from Cincinnati recently. Um, there's a couple. Alec Pierce, the free agent, is out
I
there.
don't think I noticed that Indy didn't uh, tag him.
Yeah.
He's going to be the most wanted wide receiver. That is
Mhm.
another big splash. I heard they're sniffing around Rashid Shaheed.
Is where is did he play?
Seattle.
Okay. Yeah.
Also, I keep hearing this guard who plays for the Giants, Elijah Vera Tucker. I remember when he came out, he was a tackle when he came out. He was more like a day two
Okay.
tackle, but somebody turned him into a
Okay.
guard, and that would be a great pickup. But
Mm-hmm.
they got to get a center. They have to get a center. Center is very important, and I don't know which way they're going to go on that.
Mm-hmm.
Can't draft a center. You can draft some linemen. Like I keep saying, Andrew Berry does not like to be forced to take a position of need in the draft.
Yes.
They like to move
Okay,
around.
but if
Nobody
you
saw that trade with Jacksonville happening
if
before
you
it
come
happened,
back to the
and
wide
that trade
receiver,
started at the combine.
yeah,
Their discussions started at the combine.
you
So
talked about Carnell Tate. I've talked about Carnell Tate at 6. If
yeah,
he's there, don't think too hard. Just take the guy.
yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
Now they still may trade for a wide receiver before
True.
the league year starts. You
I
never know,
agree.
but we
Yeah.
won't know until all this stuff leaked because nobody saw the Amari Cooper trade, nobody saw the Elijah Moore trade, nobody saw the Jerry Jeudy trade.
Now the Dante Moore or the other Moore from the Bears got traded today to
DJ
Buffalo.
Moore.
DJ Moore, which was one
He
guy
he
that was kind of being talked about.
he was being talked about, but his contract was a concern.
Yeah. And I guess that's the thing too, Steve. A lot of people don't look at these contracts like you do, and I don't look at them very often. But when I looked at another player like Miles Garrett's contract, when I was working on this article for Dog Pound Daily today, it really does open your eyes. It explains things that most ordinary people don't pay attention to, and why so many people have terrible takes out there in La La Land.
Well, they hear somebody gets signed, and then the number is thrown out, and that number comes from the agent. That's
Mm-hmm.
not the real contract. We have to wait 3 or 4 days
Mm-hmm.
before the real contract comes out. Like
Mm-hmm.
Jack Duffin has already hypothesized that this new lineman we signed is probably his first year contract is somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 or 5 million.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going to get the upfront cash, which
Mm-hmm.
doesn't count against the cap,
Mm-hmm.
which the owners want to do away with, but the players don't because that's just like writing a personal check to the player from the
Mm-hmm.
owner.
Yeah.
So, and you increase your spending power as a
Mm-hmm.
team. The Browns always do it every year. They're either 1 through 3. It's always roughly about $40-50 million more through upfront cash that they
Mm-hmm.
spend.
Hmm.
So you got to wait till the contract comes out.
What about this kid from Notre Dame, the running back? Some people have Aaron Goldhammer was talking about this last week on
He
ESPN.
just wanted people to
Listen
click
to
and
him.
repost his
What is it? Jordan Lovely or Jordan Love? Or
absurdly. His last name's Love.
I mean,
Yeah,
if a
he's a good player, but
yeah,
you don't.
you got
Running
Quinshon
backs have
Judkins.
running backs have lost their positional value. I mean, you
Mhm.
go out and you see a guy in the Super Bowl, and he was a undrafted rookie free agent. I mean,
He's
why are
referring to
you?
Walker, right?
Yeah,
Kenny Walker.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. MVP. Although the kicker
and
should
then
have
he's
been the
getting cut,
MVP.
right? Didn't he get
No,
released?
they didn't tender him with a tag, transition or franchise tag.
Okay, so what does that
He's
mean?
he's a free agent.
Okay,
If you franchise him, you have to pay him the amount of the top 5 running backs.
okay.
And if a team wants him, they have to match or do better than that contract. But then the team who holds the tag can match it. So they just left it as is.
Now I'm looking at
So
my.
obviously Seattle feels that they can find another running back if he goes and signs with somebody else.
Would that maybe be a Nick Chubb? No,
I'm
free agent.
surprised. No, Nick, what was his average last year?
Not. It wasn't very good. It was his
No,
lowest, I think. In his.
he's done. He is at best a third. Like I said last year, he's at best a third string running back.
Can we bring him back here to Cleveland? Or everybody loves him.
I don't know if they will or they won't, but like I said a couple of weeks ago, they're looking for a number 2 running back, a veteran number 2 running back.
He
So
fits that.
Simpson can
Flare out.
Samson can concentrate more
Yeah.
on pass catching and pass blocking.
I wanted to ask you. I mentioned this last week, maybe when this article came out on back to quarterback conversation in the draft. Drew Aller, local kid from Medina.
Yeah.
I like this kid just for the sheer fact that he's a big kid. I still think he's got some upside, but obviously he did not look good in a lot of moments, big moments at Penn State. I just like the idea that if the Browns could take a quarterback, why not take the local kid and see what he does?
If
What do you think
anybody
about
drafts him before
the fourth
round
round?
5,
Yeah,
I wouldn't take it. This is a horrible quarterback draft.
I agree.
I know the kid from Alabama is getting a lot of hype.
Yeah, what do you think about all
Todd
that?
McShay is an idiot. He's just trying to sell people advertising.
He had 15 starts.
Well, there was a stretch where he looked great, and then he looked bad. And that's what you get when you get a guy who hadn't started that much in college.
The success rate of these guys coming out of
if
Anthony Richardson, like you mentioned.
Anthony Richardson, everybody forget about that.
Well, no, what I'm trying to say is that he didn't start any games in college either.
Let's just talk about Anthony Richardson for a second. Why would the Colts tell him he could seek a trade when they don't have a quarterback? They had to get Phillip Rivers out of retirement to start games. That shows you how bad Anthony Richardson really is. And he's got a bad back. How long is he going to last?
Are the Cardinals going to sign then this Malik Willis? Is that what's going to happen?
Because they can have it.
Right? I get tired of listening to people that were trying to suggest 2 weeks ago that he should be coming to Cleveland and make him the franchise guy. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? This guy has no starts. He's played 4 seasons, and yeah, he's had a moment or two, but
he's had 155 passes. Kurt Warner did a breakdown of him, and of that 155 passes, he took out screen passes and behind the line of scrimmage flares, and he came up with 28 passes. So 28 passes out of 155. He is he's this year's Joe Milton, and Joe Milton was last year's Josh Dobbs.
Oh, good old Josh Dobbs. Well, the thing about Josh Dobbs is we'll see him on 2 or 3 teams this year floating around the league. But
hopefully he'll win his second game in the NFL because he's only won
There's
one.
a couple wide receivers in the free agency that you guys that you
Eh,
mentioned, Dobbs, not it's not
Dobbs,
Dobbs.
yeah, Dobbs. He's probably the best of the bunch that would satisfy their need. All the rest, I just can't see Alex Pierce coming to Cleveland.
Now,
I
what about
really
this
can't.
question? Thanks, Bonham. He's a big supporter of the Fanatical Elves Network, and especially the Browns Blitz.
Well,
Thanks for watching
I've
the
heard Devin
linebacker
Bush.
situation.
Devin Bush wants 15 to 17 million dollars, and that's just not going to happen in Cleveland.
Is that what you're hearing? Ugh.
That's what I'm hearing. And Dallas can have him. I'd hate to see him. Well, what you do is you re-sign Jerome Baker, and like I said, you go after this kid from Baltimore, Caden Ellis. He could be a nice compliment to Carson Schlesinger. Like I said in my podcast, I'm getting Chris Spielman vibes from the JOK thing. I really am. So
There was another guy I was just reading about too, and I tried to take a screenshot of it a while back, but I don't know if I still saved it. It was some linebacker that got released by the Giants. Do you remember that guy? I thought he played linebacker. All right. Well, yeah, the JOK thing is just, ugh, just.
it's it's bad. It's bad, unfortunately.
But we've got, I don't know.
But the
Are there
Browns are
questions?
giving him plenty of space to make his own decision. They're not pressuring him. They're not, you know, saying you got to make a decision. Same with Batonio. They pushed it back out of mutual respect, his guaranteed his void day. So, but I really can't see JOK coming back. I just, like I said, I'm getting Chris Spielman vibes.
Did you hear the comments from the owner this past week? Somebody said they got him on a radio show or something, and he was talking about the Browns. I don't know if this was fictitious or if it was real, but he was talking about how are the Browns going to do this year, and he didn't necessarily talk about tons of wins. I think they mentioned it on ESPN 850 yesterday. More or less, they're just suggesting that they would be better than this past year, but don't expect basically a miracle. And I don't know if it's true. I don't know what to think anymore because it's
I
like
didn't
when
hear
you,
it.
yeah, these.
If the people I talked to weren't if the people I talked to weren't out there trying to explain it, then to me it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
You know my philosophy on owners.
Well, and the thing too
Wave
is,
at the fans and sign the check. That's
I
your
mean, it was
job.
only 2 years ago,
Wave
Steve, that the
and
Browns
sign.
were in the playoffs with Joe Flacco. And I know the team is, there's a lot of new faces and all of this stuff, but it, like, our young podcaster Sam has said, it's the NFL. Anything can happen, really. And
Yeah,
it could
I
turn
mean,
on, like that.
you look at that year, and it there was a lot of luck involved. I mean, San
Oh, a
Francisco missed the
ton.
field goal. They could have beaten Seattle in Seattle if what was his
Hmm.
name? JP. I can't even think
JP
of.
Walker,
Yeah,
PJ
the
Walker,
quarterback, PJ
PJ
Walker.
Walker.
If he had listened to Kevin Stefanski and run the ball, he wouldn't have thrown a game-ending interception. Why he threw it, I have no earthly idea. But Stefanski said, "Okay, this is what you do: you run." He was trying to get in a position for a field goal, and what does he
Yes.
do? He drops back and throws the ball, and boom, intercepted, end zone, game over.
Ugh.
I mean, you look at last year. I mean, if we had just had an average special teams, they
Mhm.
probably would have won
Cincinnati game could have been won
8 or 9 games, and that would have put them in the
absolutely.
playoffs. And we're talking
Mhm.
a completely different
Speaking of your
situation.
boy Kevin Stefanski, he was showing some love for Shador Sanders in his recent interview or comments about saying how he loved Shador. He was glowing review of
Yeah,
Shador and what he was doing.
so
So,
he did. It's just the Sanderites because he didn't get first team reps, which
well,
was
now we're seeing pictures of Todd Monken holding hands with Shador Sanders, and so everybody now, because
he
Monken is
probably
a
got the
football
memo.
guy,
Probably
he's the
got the
right
memo.
guy now.
Probably got the memo. I don't think anybody's going to have a problem with Todd Moken. I have a feeling that he's going to be about as straightforward as you're going to get in a head coach. You're not going to see any dancing around after games.
You don't think so? I
No,
don't know. I mean, he
no.
spent $500 on the extra money that he had from the Ravens and was wearing a bunch of nice gear and blue. And he seems like he's the kind of old guy, who's knows that he's aging, so he still wants to be cool with the youngsters and maybe Miles
I thought
Garrett, who's
that
maybe he'll
light blue
jump in a
stuff.
car with Miles Garrett and see if he can get a
I
speeding
thought that
ticket.
light blue stuff he was wearing was a gift from Sanders.
No, that was the $500 that he had to spend. That people were complaining that he wasn't wearing Browns gear, and his
Oh,
answer to that was that he had 500 extra dollars to spend from the Ratbirds, and so he went and bought all this Nike gear. That's what he. That's what it.
oh,
That's.
so he's taking a shot at the Ravens. I like him a lot more now.
I want to see Todd Monken in a car with Miles Garrett and see how
No,
that
you
goes.
don't. No, you don't.
No, I don't.
Only if Todd is driving.
And make sure they're not in Amish country going over the hills of Holmes and Wayne County. That I
Only
mean,
if
that's
Todd is driving.
oh man. I mean, honestly, going back to the Miles, it just drives me nuts. The guy's been in the league for 9 years, Steve.
So
Miles Garrett has been in the league for 9 years.
he can afford fast cars, and he's going to take them out on the interstate. Don't worry, they'll talk to him.
Doesn't seem like the talking's been doing much good. It's like, I work in schools.
There'll be
I
a
work.
different consequence. I guarantee you there's something in his contract about speeding and speeding tickets and stuff like that. And they'll remind him of that. Because I guarantee you he
What
didn't
about
read
the
the
speed?
entire
Just
contract. His agent did.
well, just from a technical point of view, too. Here, I mean, having that number of speeding tickets, I would think that somehow it's affecting his driving record itself. So I'm surprised that he's still able to drive, right? I mean, is that or don't you get points knocked against you or something like that?
I don't know. I don't get speeding tickets. I'm smart.
The last
I
knock
I
on
have
wood.
I have visual awareness.
Well, I do want to give a shout out to the sheriff. There was a sheriff recently on the streets where I was driving a few weeks ago here in the Columbus area. And apparently, I swear to God, Steve, I had my turn signal on. It was a lot of traffic, so cars weren't really going that fast. And supposedly, I when I turned on my signal, it was like while I was moving over into the other lane on a kind of a
Oh, you're
busy
one of
street.
those people.
I apparently, and the sheriff, he was he got behind me, and I moved over, and then he pushed himself and moved over as well. Or he went next to me. I'm sorry, he was behind me. Then he went over to the and turned on. It didn't turn on his lights, but he turned on his megaphone or whatever and rolled down his window to get my attention while there was slow traffic going like 20 miles per hour. And he's like, "Hey, you were you going to use your signal?" I said, and I was like, honest, like, dude, yeah, I thought it was on, but apparently wasn't. He was a very nice gentleman, so thank you for reminding me the local sheriff's guy. So appreciate you not giving me a speeding ticket or anything like that. So
So you can get a ticket for not using your signal
he, I don't know, but he
in
didn't give
Ohio.
me one. He didn't give me one. He just
Here
talked
in
to me.
here in Nashville, nobody uses their signal. It's it's basically you're tipping off the enemy if you use your signal. So that's what the
The best part, yeah. So then
that's the
yesterday I was
Nashville
driving with
drivers
some
are
colleagues.
notorious for that.
We were driving with some colleagues to go to. We had a professional development sort of thing, and we were approaching this school. There were three cars, small town here in Ohio, and they sped by multiple cars, including ours, at a very high rate of speed. And one of my colleagues said, "Oh, we must be getting close to the school, and the kids must be late." And yep, sure, you bet, these kids
Wow.
were late for school. No signals, racing down the road. Thankfully, nobody was harmed or injured. So always an interesting thing to see. But well, we had enough discussion about Miles Garrett and the speeding tickets.
Yeah, I think so.
Any final thoughts before we let the fine folks that are listening to us
I'm going
go?
to be interested to see how Andrew Barry cleans up this cap.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff going on that may have already happened that we don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to see our new offensive lineman's real contract. Just remember, folks, when they throw out a number saying so-and-so signed for so-and-so, that's the agent throwing out. That's not the real contract.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm interested to see what he does. He does have a few restructure candidates. The prime one is Denzel Ward. But, and everybody knows I follow Jack Duffin because I know about 90% of the salary cap. He knows the entire salary cap, how it works. And he does have a good idea how Andrew Berry in that front office thinks. So he could create enough money, $50-60 million by next Wednesday. And, he works things right. The big thing is be Joel Bitonio.
Yep.
He could save you some money if he retires. If he comes back on a new deal, he even saves you more money. So we'll find all this stuff out probably over the weekend.
It's going to get busy.
Leaking.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Simpson as a top 30 visit?
Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you for asking. They're just doing their due diligence.
Tyler Simpson from Alabama.
Andrew Berry will draft someone from the 30 visits. Mason Graham was one of the 30 visits. Quinshon Junkins was one of the 30 visits. So, yeah, maybe if he's around in the third round, take a flyer on him. But I just can't see him as a first or second round quarterback.
Nor do I.
I just can't. But somebody will overdraft. So it wouldn't surprise me if somebody overdraft. Yeah, quarterbacks, they get all the attention. And when it's a terrible quarterback draft, they get even more attention.
Well, Steve, until next time, the Dog Pound South podcast will be coming up
Sunday morning before I get knee deep into tax returns.
Enjoy those tax returns.
I'm keeping my ear to the ground because by Sunday there should be some nice little tidbits floating around out there. So I might
to hear some
nice little rumors to talk about on Sunday.
Yeah, he's got his podcast and he's got his own blog. So tune in to Steve Gill. Coming up next in about 36 minutes, we've got the Browns Blitz with Rod Bloom and his brother Jeff and a special guest. So tune back into that. I know many of you are watching us. Thanks for tuning into us, watching us live here on on YouTube, the X, Facebook, and listening to us later on Apple, Spotify, anywhere you like listening to your favorite podcasts. We're there. Type in Cleveland Browns podcast or Fanatical Elfz podcast, and we will be there. Follow us. We would love for you to subscribe to us, especially our YouTube page. Until next time, Steve,
and
I'll see you later.
One last thing. If you think, I love your dog.
There you go, Rufus.
If you think you would like to do this, we are looking for another teammate. And you can contact John.
Yep. Or the Fanatical Elfz Network.
Or the Fanatical Elfz Network. If you're interested, we're coming up to the really, really good time of year.
Fun time to podcast.
Be an NFL fan because all of us are optimistic at this point.
Well, we've had a lot of great people come through the Fanatical Elfz Network. We appreciate all those of you who have worked with us in the past, and we looking for some good young talent possibly. If you've ever thought about doing a podcast, this is your opportunity to try things out. If you don't like it, you don't have to keep doing it, but you get to talk about the Browns, which
all you got to do is have an opinion and talk about the Browns. Boom.
Easy for us to do.
Yeah.
All right, Steve, take care. Go Browns.
All right, man. Go Browns. Cue the music.